Hello, beautiful woman. I'm so excited that you're joining me on this free class, which is all about how to ditch abusive relationships for good without compromising your time, your freedom, or yourself. So, do you dream of being in a relationship where you're both so happy that people are envious of your connection? Well, let's make that dream your reality. If we've not yet met, I'm Giselle, and I'm the creator of the Cinderella No More Club. And I help women like you who've been through relationship hell to regain their confidence, find their sexy, and get their romantic lives back on track so they never have to go through that trauma again. Now, I specifically created this training to show you how easily it can be to ditch abusive relationships. So today you will learn my 5-step method to stop the abuse cycle. You'll learn to understand the biggest mistake that women make in abusive relationships and how to avoid this. You'll learn the essential thing that you can do to easily change your relationship pattern. Plus, I've thrown in a bonus, which is how to boost your self-esteem so when you pass by a mirror, you love the woman you see. So make sure you have a pen in hand to write down any notes. I want you to know that you're not alone. I've been through tough relationships too, and I didn't have the words for what was happening in my relationships, and I thought I could tough it out. But what I was really doing was accepting abuse. So I spent years in toxic relationships, sacrificing myself, pleasing my partners, playing small, not speaking up for what I needed, and I was seriously broken. And I suffered PTSD and low self-esteem, bulimia, that's just to name a few. I didn't know who I was, what I wanted, or how to stand up for myself in my life or in my relationships. And as a result, I lost what was dear to me, my kids. Can you relate to this? So all I wanted was to have a wonderful relationship, be loved, but I didn't know how to change my relationship patterns. But thankfully, I worked it all out, and now I'm happily married. And often I feel like I should pinch myself to see if I'm dreaming. Now, my guess is that because you're watching this, you've had terrible relationships too, and possibly you've been through hell and back, and now you want to fill the emptiness that's left inside of you. So you may have experienced controlling relationships, verbal assault, physical abuse, loveless relationships, any kind of suffering or dominance, ridicule, degradation, pain. And what have you got as a result of all of this pain and drama? Maybe it's low self-esteem, self-doubt, body image disorders, addictions to food, to alcohol, or PTSD, anxiety, or just plain old feeling unworthy of love. And because of all of this, you're most likely scared of getting into a new relationship. Am I on the mark here? Let me know. I'd love to know. Well, what if I told you that it is possible to ditch abusive relationships for good, and it is possible that you can change the fairy tale relation that you can have the fairy tale relationship that you're dreaming of. And what if I told you it is possible that you can change your life and your relationships in just months? Actually, you'd probably think I was crazy, but I'm here to tell you that it's totally possible. Now, most relationships start out fairy tale like, don't they? You're in love, and you're both in a state of euphoria, and it's so wonderful, isn't it? But after some time, say like 3 months, cracks begin to appear. Like, I don't know, he cheats on you. He constantly puts you down. Jealousy overwhelms him and he accuses you of looking at other men. But the reality was, you were looking at the ground because you were too afraid to look anywhere else. So you shut your emotions down in case you don't get hurt. And this means that you're not putting your all or your everything into your relationship. So the relationship ends. And after a while, or immediately as in my case, you enter into another relationship. And when you do, you don't give fully to him because you're too scared of being hurt and you don't accept his love. So I know that you've been in traumatic relationships before and you've probably tried everything to improve those relationships, but they didn't change, did they? So you don't want to get into another one just to repeat the pain and be left broken lying on the floor like last time. So I'm sure you don't want to go through that all over again, and I'm sure you don't want to just keep dating and dating and dating and never finding that content and happiness. And you're probably too scared to get into a relationship in case it ends in heartbreak or you have endless searching and hope that you'll find that one man for you, or going through painful relationships only to look back and say, why me? Why did this happen to me? And instead of looking for another relationship, what do? You avoid them like the plague. Maybe you sit on the couch eating crisps and watching Married at First Sight instead of getting out and looking for your man. So you just want to have fun and live your life and not go through any more of that pain and drama. I get you. I've been there. It's way too stressful. It's horrid and it can be really scary out there. It's not a nice way to live your life. So you want your next relationship to be the last one which you'll ever have. Don't worry, I'm here. The Cinderella No More Club is the only membership that you'll need to change your relationships forever. And that's why I'm here, to show you that it's possible to change your relationships. And I'm living proof of this because I've done it. And I want to show you how easy it can be to enjoy life, to have fun, and to have the fairy tale relationship that you're dreaming of. I can help you move forward and ditch those abusive relationships for good. Great. So today, let's talk about how you can do that. And I'm sharing a key technique to help you change your life patterns and get you started on your path to becoming the confident and fabulous version of yourself. I do this because I want the best for you and I don't want you to suffer any longer, because I want you to be happy, be in a happy relationship and be in love just like I am. So raise your hand, honey, and repeat after me. I am ready to ditch abusive relationships. Fantastic. Okay. Now, I was probably a lot like you. During most of my relationships, I was in an absolute mess. And I would give my power away to like any guy and let my life be controlled and dictated to. I didn't know who I was or what I wanted in my life or where I was going. And I would put a brave face on and smile at the world to the point where I actually lost myself. And I mean, I couldn't stand up for myself. I even had myself psychically assessed at one point. And I would make the best of really flipping awful relationships. Now, my relationships kept on like this until one day that I found myself broken on the floor, and I realized I needed to make dramatic changes. Otherwise, I'd be living this traumatic relationship pattern like forever. Did I change immediately? Absolutely not. That was just the beginning. That was just the beginning of changing my relationships, of starting on my change journey. No, it took me like years to figure out how to be me and be strong and change my patterns. But I didn't have the support. I didn't have someone to tell me what I needed to do to improve myself and my life, and to help me feel confident and to heal. And I didn't have someone to be my non-judgmental backbone, who would also steer me back on track if I wandered off my course. I did it all by myself, and it was tough, and I let my my heart lead me into healing. And I searched my soul. I dove deep. Well, actually, one day I searched my soul and I dove deep into myself, and I worked on my self-esteem and my self-worth. And in the end, I very quickly, turned myself into a worthy, strong woman with good morals, who was ready and willing to share my life with a man who treats me well and deserves me. Now I'm the woman I've always wanted to be, and the kind of woman I used to admire. And it feels really great. And this is why I've designed a membership program to support you in changing your relationships and yourself and giving you back your power. It's your time now, gorgeous. It's your time. In what way do I mean? Well, yeah, I know. Raise your hand again. I am ready to ditch abusive relationships for good. Say it like you mean it. Ready again. I am ready to ditch abusive relationships for good. So what I've learned is the faster you find your inner strength and you learn to stand up for what you want, the sooner you get that fairy tale relationship. So enough about me. Let's get on with your training. This is about you. Let me ask you some questions. What do you do when he says he loves you? Then he attacks you. Do you attack him back? Do you take it and say, this is a one-off, and try to ignore it? Do you bury your feelings? What if it happens again? Then what do you do? Do you tell him that the behaviour is unacceptable and when it happens again you leave? What do you do, and what have you done in the past? I'd love to know, so please send me your answer by emailing me at hello@gisellecooper.com or reply to any one of my emails. So this is how to ditch abusive relationships and repeat them and prevent them from repeating. We start with acknowledgement, and that is realizing that you're in an abusive relationship. Okay, so the essential first step for prevention and cure is understanding what is loving behavior and what is not. So the definition of abuse is very, very broad, and abuse has many forms, like verbal. So you've got swearing, yelling, name calling, and like ridicule. You've got physical abuse, so pushing, hitting, punching, slapping, restraining. You have sexual abuse too, like rape, withholding sex, or even just coercion. You also have abuse comes in the form of control as well. So, you're not allowed to do that, or I'll leave you if you do that. I'm sure you're understanding what I'm meaning here. Now, because many of us have actually seen these behaviours in everyday life, we often accept them as normal. Therefore, the first step is to understand and acknowledge that that behaviour is abusive and it's not loving. Once you've got that, next is to express your disapproval. So if your partner is approachable, take the time to talk about the abuse and voice your dislike for the behaviour. So you could say something like, this behaviour is unacceptable and I will not tolerate it anymore. You could say, that behaviour last night was not pleasant for either of us and we cannot let this continue. The biggest mistake that women make in abusive relationships is believing that their man is a good man and makes excuses for his behaviour, allowing him to continue with behaviour and it goes unchecked. there's no excuse for this kind of behaviour, period. Now, another factor that allows the behaviour to continue is blaming ourselves. And it's so easy to put up, shut up, and just carry on. So ask yourself, why are you doing this? And who are you hurting by doing this? And what are you teaching your man? What are your options? So next we have setting clear boundaries. So have a discussion and decide together what is acceptable and what is not. So a decision made together has more impact than simply laying down the law, because it involves his input too, and he is more likely to adhere to these limits. So set clear boundaries about what is acceptable and what's not, and talk about how you both will handle the situation and the aftermath of the abuse if it were to reoccur. For example, will you separate? Will he or both of you attend counselling? When deciding what is acceptable, ask yourself what behaviour makes you feel weak or scared. Ask yourself, would I feel comfortable telling a new friend about this behaviour? Maybe if you have children, ask yourself, is this behaviour good for our children to see or to witness? What is the impact the behaviour is having on our children when they witness this abuse? What values are we shaping in our children when they witness this? And what is the effect on our children when they see me set boundaries around abuse instead of tolerating it? And then we move into prevention. So we want to discuss ways with your partner about how to prevent the abuse from reoccurring. For example, maybe you could limit alcohol and substance abuse. Use respectful language, particularly during disagreements. Or if an argument becomes heated, maybe it's an option to leave the situation. And also for prevention, of course, is the obvious one, which is relationship counselling. And then step 5, take action. If you don't have the strength to say no, or your partner is too violent, or the abuse continues, consider terminating the relationship in a non-confrontational way. We often don't realise the many options that we have. And so what are your options to stop the abuse? Could you ask him to look for another dwelling, so somewhere else to live? Maybe you have to leave. You might have children, so this requires mindful consideration. And he may be very controlling, and leaving would be terrifying or dangerous for you to attempt it. Can you go? Can you leave when he's at work? Can you do it in secret? Maybe you need to take out a restraining order or go to women's refuge. They can be very helpful in these kind of situations as well. So what can you do to prevent yourself from entering into another abusive relationship? So I believe it starts with you recognising abusive behaviour, however minor it is, and acting on it right at the beginning. Now the Cinderella No More Club helps you become stronger in yourself, so you not only recognise that abusive behaviour in others and in yourself, but you halt it in its tracks. Plus, your newfound internal power gives you the patience so you can allow a man to change his ways without jeopardising your safety. And it gives you the confidence to walk away from abuse if the behaviour doesn't change. Plus, in the Cinderella No More Club, you will learn many different tools to improve your self-worth, your self-esteem, and your relationships. So every single action, exercise, and ritual in my program helps to empower you to find your authenticity even if you don't know who you really are. I know I didn't for a very long time. And I want to share with you one of my favourite techniques, which helps boost your self-esteem and therefore helps you find out who you really are. Okay, and I call this the love shower. Now, so if you're anything like me, you'll have hang-ups about your body. So like every time you walk by a mirror or try some clothes on, you have negative thoughts sneak in. So today I want to share this powerful exercise with you, which you can quite simply perform when you're drying yourself after your shower. That's the best time. Yeah, that's why I call it the love shower. It will improve how you feel about your body and give her the much needed love which she needs. You can do this now, but you can do this now with me, but I recommend doing it when you're naked because it has a much more significant effect. So I want you to turn your attention onto your body, and I want you to put your hands on your body and just run your hands over every part of her and talk to her and tell her she is beautiful. Tell her that you appreciate all the hard work that she does to keep you healthy and strong and support you throughout the day. Feel the love flow from your heart through your hands and into your body. Concentrate on those points of your body which you're not that fond of. They need a little bit extra attention and a little bit of extra love. So tell them how beautiful they are and how much you love them. And just like that, how are you feeling? So this exercise is super powerful because you're touching her at the same time as thanking her and telling her how beautiful and loved she is. So I recommend you do this every day for 3 weeks to get sustainable results with your body image. And also, do take note of how your body feels in all ways and how quickly you get results. And I'd love to know. So send me an email telling me how it's changed, how you feel about yourself, or how it's changed your view of how it's changed your body image. So send the email to hello@gisellecooper.com. Now, the Cinderella Club focuses on making you stronger like this from the inside out, causing you to exude a new vibe, one which doesn't fall prey to controlling predators, but instead attracts men who understand you and see the value in you as a woman. So important. So you'll learn to say no to anything that doesn't make you happy, and you'll no longer hesitate to walk away from things that no longer serve you. So hand up high again. I am ready to ditch abusive relationships for good. Yes, I want you to succeed in your relationships and be happy like I am. I want to show you how you can do this, and it involves lots of fun, lots of chatting with other women, and not too much money, and that's always a bonus. So you can have that fairy tale relationship you deserve. I invite you to find out more about me by clicking on the button below. And if you've enjoyed, sorry, just a moment lapse in concentration then. If you've enjoyed this training, I'd love for you to I'd love to know about it. So please send me an email at hello@gisellecooper.com or DM me on social media. That's Instagram and Facebook. I'm on both of those. Also on Pinterest at Mrs.GiselleCooper. And also, if you know someone who could benefit from this training, from this free training, send them to my website, gisellecooper.com, where they can sign up for this training too. And I wish you the very, very best. And remember, darling, you can find your Prince Charming and ditch abusive relationships within months. I'll see you soon. Look out for my emails. Bye for now.